What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Series win against a playoff team. I mean, it's shocking. It's great. It's awesome. Mets played really well against the San Diego Padres, something that we have been waiting to see for months and months and months, and we got little glimpses of it, but that was probably one of the better series the Mets have played in the last couple months against a playoff team in the San Diego Padres. So we're going to talk about everything as we always do. Make sure you guys are following us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd podcast YouTube channel if you have not yet done so to see the video version of us. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, you were not in the ballpark for Game 3 on Thursday. A rare day game miss from you, but it's okay. Tell me what it looked like at home. Jonah Tong on the mound looked awesome at the stadium.
It looked great, but I do think, oddly, the game did kind of swing on a dime on the Manny Machado get thrown out second base play. Like, that was it. I feel like that was such a confidence-building moment for Tong, for the Mets. You already had a lead at that point. Was it around nothing? Yeah, because
it was 1-0.
Yeah, the Pete home run. So I think that was just a time where, off that Ranger start, you felt like things could have possibly, maybe, kind of, not really, but possibly. No, it wasn't, because that was top of the first.
The double?
The Machado, yeah.
Was top of the first?
Was it not? Am I getting confused with my innings? That was top of the first. Mark was at the game. He definitely wasn't paying close enough attention because I was right watching on television. That was top of the first inning.
Innings are fluid.
It wasn't 1-0 yet because Lonzo's home run in the bottom of the first went 450 feet, an absolute piss missile. But you did feel like after the way the first inning of the last start got, it was really important for Tom to just get through a clean inning to begin the game. And Manny Machado just not hustling really helped us get to that spot. And then after that, Jonah just absolutely rolled.
Yeah, I could not believe he got thrown out at second base on that because that was the freest double, especially with old noodle arm Brandon Nimmo out in left field who takes forever to get to the baseball. But clean throw to Lindor, and Lindor made a quick throw then to McNeil at second base. He was out by like 10 feet. It was shocking how out he was.
And we cut to third. That wasn't even a cut to second. That was just a heads-up play by Lindor. Yeah, it was because you see where he was. Another one, you being at the game. He was standing in between. There wasn't like he was in the outfield to cut second.
No, that's where he was to cut second, 100%.
He was definitely standing very much in between those two bases. He wasn't on the line.
I think this is one I'm right now, actually. I missed the inning, but he was looking second the whole way.
Heads up play. Not worth a heads up play. Great to get him out of that inning. And then it was just so nice to see him attack. Yes. After the last start for Jonah Tong, we were kind of like not reluctant. We were like a little disappointed that he didn't just go after these guys. In this game, he was just like, here's the fastball. Try and fucking hit it because I know you can. It was 2/3 of his total pitches. 16 of his 18 first pitches were fastballs. 60% of those fastballs came in the zone, and 9 of his 10 swings and misses came on that fastball.
Yeah, no, it looked really good, especially because it feels like at times that there's like he doesn't have the slider. The curveball was better today, I feel like, than it had been in previous starts. But because he's so fastball changeup reliant, it feels like at times it's hard for him to get those right-handed batters out. But that fastball was such a weapon today. He was throwing it a ton in the zone. I texted you. I'm like, he doesn't really have an out pitch. Like, it's the fastball. And then all of a sudden, the fastball just started absolutely grooving. But you're right. He has to throw it in his zone. It's not a chase pitch. He doesn't really have the chase stuff, which is interesting to still get all those strikeouts.
Yeah, that's the difference of, like, delineation of terms. He has the out pitch. He doesn't have the chase pitch.
Yes.
Because the changeup also, he threw more curveballs than changeups this start, which I thought was interesting. But the changeup was the pitch he was throwing very frequently in the strike zone. So, again, that's similar to that's kind of what happened to him last week against the Rangers. I think that got him into trouble because when you can't locate the fastball and they can sit changeup, that's how you can just kind of do it. But even looking back at the start, it was a lot of bloops and flares, dinks and doinks. Like, it just wasn't able to get ahead of these guys. But here he was getting ahead. He was in control. He was confident. He kind of seemed like he frustrated these Padres hitters at times. It did help that we jumped out to the big lead against Randy Vasquez, but it was nice to see Tong pitch so confidently. And now you have 3 games in 6 days, 3 out of 5 games where the rookies took the mound and all of them crushed. And that's so cool.
I saw a tweet. It's 17 innings consecutive from McLean, Sproat, Tong of 0 earned runs. Like, that's pretty damn good for 3 rookie pitchers, one of which we thought maybe actually was going to be on the Major League roster at some point this year, weirdly being Brandon Sproat. Now all 3 of them are here pitching against good baseball teams and helping this team win massive games. Also, I thought it was huge, too. After the big inning against Randy Vasquez, Tong came out, shut down inning. We talk about this all the time. One of the most important things you can do in a game. Don't let them hang around. Don't let them think they got a chance. And Jonah Tong, I think, went out, and he might have struck out the side or struck out 2 of the 3 guys.
2.
He was just completely in control. We've now seen that a couple times, too, from him. You get him a lead. He goes out there. He seems to understand what to do when pitching with a lead, which is you got to throw strikes.
Yeah, it was Jackson Merrill, Ramon Laureano, and Gavin Sheets. Jackson Merrill did hit a hot shot right to Juan Soto to start the inning that I did catch at the warning track, but 2 strikeouts are big. And that big inning that we had in the third, that was after they kind of got that cheap run on Fernando Tatis, where he hit the single after he almost hit the home run.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you even caught this in this stadium, but Tong, I'll never say that Jonah Tong is talking shit because he's such a sweetheart, but he gave a little, he waved Tatis off because Tatis, I think, thought that was a home. He went like this once he looked at the board and saw the replay. But without making eye contact with him, and Tatis seemed like I look cocky after that. He laced a single up the middle. Tatis hit the ball
well.
He hit the ball hard this game.
Yeah,
really
hard. Smoked baseballs. He smoked a couple off of Tong. It's funny because they stacked the lineup with lefties, especially when they did 4 lefties out of 5 batters in a row. I think that does happen because they do have a lot of good left-handed hitters as well. But I feel like for Tong specifically, because of that changeup, you actually want to stack with righties here because he doesn't have the slider. The pitch that breaks the other way, the changeup breaking into right-handed hitters, you can just pull a baseball and luck into it a little bit, kind of like you saw with Machado, who laced that one off the wall, and Tatis, who was hitting him well. The 2 guys hitting well were the righties.
Totally. And the funny thing about Tong is that he did face both sides of the plate exactly the same. And we kind of say this about him a lot because that release is so over the top and pure. It's like, this is going to be real. It might be way too meta. He doesn't have handedness really.
Too meta. Way too much. Insane.
It's so up here, but it's funny looking at the pitch percentages right now in Savant. 67% fastballs to righties, 67% fastballs to lefties, 15% curveballs to righties, 20% curveballs to lefties, 12% changeups to righties, 12% curveballs to lefties, and that other 6% was made up in 2 sliders they threw to righties.
Sounds like he's got a plan.
That does sound like he has a plan, and he did seem also in this game different from the last 2 starts. The first start, you kind of have to throw away Jonah Tong's velocity because you have so much adrenaline.
Yes.
And then it was so weird also with the sitting for a half hour in between each of his first 2 innings, so he scored so many runs. But then comparing this start to the last 2 starts, he was down like a full tick. So I think that was also probably some kind of plan there to take a little bit off this, make sure you get those spots because he was able to drive it inside on those lefties over and over again. He kind of owned that side of the plate against them. That it felt like it just helped a lot. It felt like he was very in control, and this was a good little reminder that this is still an elite pitching prospect.
Yeah, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, none earned, 8 strikeouts. Fantastic job by Jonah Tong today on the mound. He was awesome. Exactly what we needed. And again, also shout out the Padres for the way that they put that lineup because it was a little dicey. When we have to get 3 innings of relief, not named by Edwin Diaz.
4.
I know. Well, Edwin Diaz was the 4th one. I'm saying not named Edwin Diaz because the 9th, not worried about that at all. Couldn't have even thought about sweating a little bit in that 9th inning. But when you have to get those other 3 innings, it is tight with this Mets bullpen. But shout out again the Padres having all those lefties. Brooks Raley and Gregory Soto. Soto got a little bit hairy. I still don't trust him for a second to pitch any sort of big games whatsoever. But Brooks Raley's the man. This guy was available all offseason, during the season. Mets let him rehab. He comes back, and he has been the 2nd best reliever in this bullpen.
Totally. And another very calm, cool, easy inning from Tyler Rogers, who I think has been a little bit scapegoated, as a lot of people do chastise David Stearns to the trade deadline, and Rogers has been cash money.
Yes, he's been so incredibly good.
7-pitch inning. It was so simple.
I honestly thought he was going to come back
and
again.
It was over.
Yeah.
He does a lot of these, but he never comes back for multiple innings. He owes very few, even more than 3 out appearances his whole career. Because I've said that, some people have called me out and been like, he never, ever goes more than 3 outs, ever, his whole career. But whatever. So again, it all worked. And I do applaud Carlos Mendoza in this instance for taking Tong out when he did. We were texting, kind of arguing about it. I thought he was going to get one more inning. And the way that bottom of the 5th began, it felt like he was going to get that inning. But then the inning got a little bit long. We had Soto hit the double, Nimmo walked, and I think the length of the inning may have done it, but also that was just the top of the order. And we were talking about how well Tatis had seen Tong that game. So him and Tong and Mendoza had a little bit of banter. He seemed like a little disappointed, but also in like his happy-go-lucky way that he didn't have to go back to the mound. And it was okay. It worked. The plan. This was a game where you look at the way we won, and you're like, I could win like that more often.
I would love to win like that more often. 80 pitches, 5 innings. A great start, not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Didn't have a chance to blow the game. The bullpen locked it down.
The pickoff was kind of bad.
Well, yeah, but I guess that's kind of funny how that takes away the earned run away from him as well.
Yeah, he technically made 2 errors because the wild pitch was charged to him too, and not Arraez, and the run doesn't wind up counting.
That's hacked for ERA. Get a guy on, just let him make an error so he can score, and it doesn't hurt your ERA.
Just Trevor Bauer the ball into the stands.
Offensively, looked really good this series. I think just as a whole, we can talk about it, but specifically in game 3, Pete Alonso's on absolute tear. I think he's hit a home run in 4 straight games. He's hit not just home runs, they've been bombs. They've been absolute missiles since the walk-off home run, 450 feet on game 3 on Thursday. Nimmo swinging the bat better. He's still, I'm becoming I've been a bit of a Nimmo hater recently, but I think my hate might fuel him. I don't actually hate Brandon Nimmo, but I have hated the way that his season has gone, and there have been things that he's done that's bothered me. But when he's hitting the home runs like this, I can look past it because I go, okay, you're actually doing something. I still hate how defensive every other swing feels, though.
Lefty-lefty home run, too, which was cool, because this was a situation where yesterday, the game on Wednesday, the Padres brought in Adrian Morejon to face Nimmo. Also, similarly to this with Jonah Tong, opposite of how Carlos Mendoza approached David Peterson's outing. We'll talk to that, and we keep moving backwards here, talk about game 2. Mike Schultz says, I'm stopping the bleeding right now. I'm bringing in my best lefty to face Brandon Nimmo, and he's going to get him out. We're going to end this threat.
And I do think a big reason why Schultz does that, though, is the Padres bullpen is unbelievable. Anybody you go to, Yuki Matsui is their worst guy, and he's made 70 appearances this year. He's not that bad. He's not good, but he's like Gregory Soto in that they don't really trust him, but he pitches to lefties.
Can I tell you a funny stat about Pivetta before we keep talking about the lineup?
Yes.
That game on Wednesday, that was the first time Nick Pivetta did not complete 5 innings since June 20th.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was an unconventionally quick hook for Schultz on Pivetta. But again, that was managing like a playoff game. I do think there were times in the series Mendoza didn't, and then I think in this game with Tong, he did. So it was nice to see Mendoza learn from a mistake and do something better about it. But like you said, the top of the order just completely bludgeoned. They won this game. Same thing with the game we won on Tuesday. Those guys were the driving force, and that is, as we've said all season, this team will go as far as those guys take them.
Yes, and offensively, we know this team should be good. This team can be good. They have good players.
Team is good.
Especially when Juan Soto is swinging the bat like he is, when Francisco Lindor is getting on base as much as he has been recently, when Pete Alonso is swinging for power. It's a very, very, very difficult 1-2-3 to have at any moment. When Lindor starts innings or even gets on base and then has Juan Soto and Pete Alonso up next, the opposing pitcher has to be incredibly uncomfortable, especially because they also can run when Lindor gets on base. That's the added pressure of it, too.
Yes, Soto stole another base in this game, too. You know who started that big rally in the 3rd inning, though?
That is going to be Cedric Mullins.
Cedric Mullins, baby, getting on from the 9-hole. I know that he's become the pariah of this Mets season. He had a decent series. And after
Cedric Mullins is playing better.
After that miserable at-bat he had on Saturday against Phil Maton, it has been 4 tolerable games. And this entire team changes dramatically if he can literally just be average. And
he has been.
I think we saw him make a lot of really nice catches in center field this series, too, as much as everyone on Earth and the Mets world just wants to despise the guy. But it's helpful because this is a game where day game after night game, no Alvarez in the lineup. He's been swinging the bat super well.
Just I got 2 questions for you, James.
What?
I got to interrupt you. What's Cedric Mullins' OPS over the last week?
733.
Really close. 794.
Okay.
Pretty
good.
Week
is whatever. Yeah,
I know, but still, that's better than where it's been, because the last 15 games, which includes the last 7,
still 600.
It's 4 something.
Okay.
Yeah. So we take week by week. We take it one day at a time. Do you know what Cedric Mullins' real first name is?
No.
Boyce.
Oh,
Boyce Mullins.
Boyce Mullins. I kind of like that.
2 cool names.
Boyce Cedric Mullins. That is cool. Yeah. Nimmo. I'm happy he hit the home run because I think we all have remembered that throw home. That was one of the worst throws I think I've ever seen in a Major League Baseball field. Since
I have no rotator cuff, and I could make that since Chris Davis.
No, take Volpe out of it, and then Edmundo Sosa is the other worst one I've ever seen in the field.
There's a great video on Made the Cut on YouTube for those of you who have the time. It's 4 minutes, and he goes through a compilation of how Chris Davis of the Oakland A's, the guy who hit 247 every year, had the worst arm in the history of baseball. Brandon Nimmo gave him a run for his money in this game. Chris Davis used to not be able to reach the infield cutout from the outfield on throws. He'd bounce cutoff men. So not as bad as that, but when that throw got made, I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. The way Brandon Nimmo moves at times is he's not a human. It's he's animatronic. That throw was so robotic and so stiff. It was honestly shocking that it even went that far because he had nothing behind it.
Yeah, it was quite bad. But still, when all this said and done, Nimmo still has 24 home runs, 86 RBIs, 770 OPS. It's going to be just another very fine season for Brandon Nimmo at the end of the day.
Yes, it's going to be a fine season. It's just, it's so weird that he's not an on-base guy anymore. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, I would like it if he could be, but maybe this is just part of him adjusting his own game, moving from leadoff to the 4 spot. Like, you should be a more aggressive hitter when you're hitting 4th compared to
Sure,
leadoff.
when guys are on base, yes.
Yeah, your swing rate should rise. Like, you should be more looking to drive the ball, drive in runs. I think the fact that we could be looking at 90 RBI season for Brandon Nimmo, that's kind of cool. Soto got his 100th RBI. Pete is over 120 RBIs again. It's just this, as run producers in the middle. Like, it does feel weird considering the shape of our season. But now that we're at a spot where we can kind of see the end of season numbers and lines, like if you would have just got smacked in the head on March 15th and woke up right now, you'd be like, oh, all these guys have pretty good seasons.
I think this is the exact top 4 that we said, like, before the season even started, that we like the best. Lindor, Soto, Pete, Nimmo 4. Remember when people were like, Nimmo 4, that's crazy, you can't hit 4th.
And then also Vientos 5, McNeil 6. Like, I think that all works together with Batty, with Batty and Alvarez right after that. Like, that's an 8. Like, that's a legitimate 8 to be
and if Cedric Mullins is average, that's a great 9.
And then we flip the whole thing over and we have 9 good hitters in the lineup if Cedric Mullins is average. And that's kind of the beauty of what this is. And I know, again, the rookies have been good. We're still going to get some inconsistency. I'm excited to talk about the piggybacking between Minaya and Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
Not excited to talk about the massive regression of David Peterson. This bullpen still sucks ass. But at the end of the day, like, we're going as far as this lineup takes us. We need to do what the Dodgers do. We need 6 a game.
Okay, so you talked about a little game 2 action. David Peterson, Carlos Mendoza opting to keep him in to face Manny Machado. I didn't love it. I get why, but I also don't love it. And that's where I kind of feel with this one.
Yeah, I wasn't mad in the moment, but the more I thought about it, even more so seeing Pivetta get pulled the next inning, I was like, damn, we could have done that. But also in my head, I was like, who's coming in?
Yeah, I don't know.
What right-hander, do you bring Diaz in? Like, what right-handed pitcher comes in?
Dom Hamill? Who got Dom Hamill
cut.
Salute.
Yeah, salute Dom Hamill. Shout out Dom Hamill. Helped us set the record for the most pitchers ever used in a single season, 46.
So many.
That's going to be a piece of a video we're going to do whenever the season's over. Name every single pitcher that appeared in the game for the Mets this year. I'm excited for that one. But it's just, while I was mad at the same time, the way we got to that point in the inning was, for lack of a better term, bullshit.
Yeah.
He gets up 0-2 on Cronenworth. Cronenworth has a classic Cronenworth at bat where he just fights and fights and fights and fights. Hits him with a fucking sinker. That, like, nice, got a little elbow in there. It's just Cronenworth being a ball player. And then we get 2 bunts. 2 bunts. The Padres bunted twice and still wound up with a grand slam. Elias Diaz had a good bunt. Tatis walks. After also Peterson got ahead of him 1-2. You still just missed a lot and walked him after that. And then Arraez just drops down a perfect one. The way they were talking about in the broadcast.
I'm glad I wasn't listening to it that in touch, because even at the Mets game today, Luis Arraez came up to the plate and they were like, oh, I mean, this guy's just a hit machine. I'm like, his average is like 20 points higher than Juan Soto, who has 41 home runs. Like, why are we glazing the guy?
I don't remember if it was Gary or Ron, because Keith was under the weather this week. Shout out Keith. Hope he feels better as we get to the weekend. No one of them, I think it was Gary, said about Luis Arraez in the series.
Oh, God, please don't tell me.
Said he's due for one of the most fascinating free agencies we've seen in a while.
It is going to be a fascinating free agency. I don't disagree with that, because I think I know what they said, because I think my dad told me. It's either going to go 2 ways. No one's gonna reach out to him, and it's gonna be April 1st, and it's gonna be like, what team is Luis Arraez on? Or there's gonna be a weird team like the Angels that's just like 7 for $100 million, and you're like, what?
Oh, the Angels should make him a cornerstone. That's actually a good point.
They're going to pay him. I hope you know.
The Shanuel platoon.
You know who should actually pay him? Truthfully, Colorado Rockies. He might hit 400 there.
3,000 hits. He might get in the Hall of Fame there.
They should be all over him. If there was one guy they ever spend money on, it's Luis Arraez. But yeah, he is going to have a weird free agency, because it's going to be a real test of how organizations think and feel. That being said, we probably have gone too far the opposite direction with Luis Arraez. He is totally a major leaguer. He is fine. Easily. I want him hitting 8th or 9th on my team. I don't want him second, getting a bats ahead of Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill and Ramon Laureano and guys like that. But he is on a good team. Like, the Dodgers would love him playing second base in that lineup.
I don't want to spend too much of this episode doing the Luis Arraez discourse, but the only thing, if he could either run or field, like, he would be a highly valuable player.
Yes.
He is a good hitter. He just can't do anything else.
Good contact hitter.
Yeah, but he's still a good hitter at the end of the day. Would you call him a good hitter or a bad hitter?
I'd call him a hitter. I'd call him neither. I wouldn't be in any conversation, because when there are actually people like Juan Soto or Jordan Alvarez or Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani,
the best hitters in the league.
Those are good hitters.
I don't know. Like Luis Arraez, if he has 750 OPS next year, are you surprised?
No, not at all. I mean, he's at 708, 710 right now. Like,
I'm saying it's a bad season for him. I think next season has a good season to pops back up. But again, digress. Don't want to do any more Luis Arraez discourse. This game was, again, frustrating because we've now gotten to the end of the, I'm not going to say the end of the David Peterson experience for this year, but it has gone so far in the wrong direction so quickly. The second half ERA is almost 5, it's 4.86.
ERA on the year is 3.98.
Yeah, Tacomo tweeted that thing that his last 7 starts, the ERA 6.5. It's just not. It's just very clear it's not in a good spot. And the things that he was so good at earlier this season, which was kind of placing balls in the different quadrants, making sure he was mixing up the sequencing, keeping guys off balance, putting the sinkers in the right spots. He's not really doing any of that right now. Bad misses with the curveball. It's some bad misses with the slider. The sinkers are just, he kind of just seems like he wants to just get them in the zone rather than spot them anymore. And the stuff's just not good enough for him to do that. So it's not a great situation. And we're in a spot where I'm rapidly losing confidence in what he can do next week, hopefully the week after that.
They almost, man, he doesn't have an option anymore, right?
No more.
He might need they can't do it though because of the playoffs. I'm like, he needs to skip one start, truthfully, probably, because he's thrown more innings than he ever has. And that feels like it's the clear and obvious reason why all this is happening. That being said, at some point he would have to throw more innings than he ever had before. And for him to drop off this much is a big, like you said, loss of faith in him because I thought he had a little more dog than that. And right now it feels like there's no confidence, along with the fact that he's exhausted from throwing more than he ever has. He was such a horse for us in the beginning, but now he is not trusted at all.
So last year, with the playoffs included, Peterson threw 133 and 1/3 innings. This year's at 167 and 1/3.
Yeah.
That's not an unreasonable jump.
No, not at all.
Also, the funny thing about Peterson is that right now, compared to last season, all of his ERA predictors are in a much better spot. He has a lower fifth. He has a lower Sierra. Like he, in terms of what he allegedly deserves, is better. And I think it's a funny it's a funny thing to remember about David Peterson. We always talk about the fact that someone like him will just always, not really his fault, but just kind of the way things work, he'll always be a little bit less reliable year over year because he doesn't strike many guys out and he walks a few too many. So just with more balls in play, you invite a little bit more chaos. You have to rely a little bit more on good luck. When you get good luck, you're great. And when you get the bad luck, you're not. I think that some of what's happened with David Peterson, I think, is bad luck. I don't think all of it is, but I do think there have been a lot of balls in play that were finding gloves are no longer finding gloves. While at the same time, he's missing fewer bats and he's clearly missing many more spots.
Yeah, and they're also they're hitting the ball harder too against them this year as well. Like more consistently hitting the ball hard. It's a small jump, but like a 4% jump in hard hit rate is probably the difference between David Peterson having a 3.9 ERA and a 3.3.
I would argue that that's actually, I think that's just regular error. It's like that's the margin. I think like standard deviation.
It's the highest it's ever been of his career.
No, totally. But I think that like even in this game, there weren't tons of hard hit balls, but there were just a lot of balls in play. 3 walks and 1 strikeout, and then like you walk 3 guys for free. You're not striking anybody out. All of those other balls just wind up in play. Like you're just not going to get to all of them. Even the 3-2 pitch that Machado hit out, it was so clear that bat was moving on. He didn't really have a way to get him. You just kind of needed him to make it out in the field of play. And it seemed like he was also scared to walk him, where again, when you look back, the walk wasn't really the worst thing. And the 3-1 pitch, he gave him a sinkers right down the middle. And it was like, oh, I can't believe he missed that. And then he gave him a curveball. It was low, but it was dead central. It's like, all right, see you later. He hit the mile. So I don't know how, the way when the Mets lined it up, I feel like they intentionally wanted Peterson for Wednesday so they could have Peterson for Monday. And then hopefully if they need to, Peterson for Sunday. I don't know how comfortable I feel with that right now, honestly.
Not particularly comfortable. And especially, again, if we make the postseason, I don't know if I feel too comfortable at him pitching game 1, let alone game 2.
No, I think it's at the same spot as you. Like I do think that Mendoza's now finally gotten to the spot where creativity is going to happen.
Thank God.
And I think that it's a situation where he might have played himself more into a weapon than a starter. But also, if he gets through a lineup once in game 2, he can definitely do it again. If if the command's on that day. Like we're not chastising David Peterson, but I think there's just more where David Peterson's full season stat line has now wound up and where it will be when the season ends next week. It's probably just the pitcher he is.
Yes.
And that's okay. That's
okay. He was never supposed to be the ace. That was never realistic for him to be the ace. When we started to think that maybe he was a frontline guy, we're like, is this happening? That was more surprise.
I just barely bought in. Shame on me. Shame on me for buying in, because I was steadfast the whole time. I was getting killed for it, but I was like, you know what? Fine. Let me enjoy myself once. That's it.
Can I interrupt you? Because as much as we talked about the pitching that wasn't great in that game, can I interrupt you with a little DraftKings player spotlight?
Yeah, do it.
I guess this is less of a player spotlight and more of a team spotlight. The Mets have been hitting a ton of home runs recently. In game 2, they hit 4 and lost the game, which is kind of unfathomable. I don't know if there's many teams that have hit 4 home runs in a game and lost. They were all solo shots. They weren't really getting the guys on base before they hit the home runs. But if you are watching this team, the way that they're driving the baseball, specifically Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, it's pretty awesome to see because this is what we had been waiting for. Obviously, Soto's got 41 home runs. Pete Alonso's got 36. They've hit home runs all year. But it feels like for the first time, these guys are doing it at the exact same time, which is really special.
Literally. And that the exact same time, power driven. Like
Yes.
we've seen them relatively hot at the same time. But the fact that Pete has home runs 4 days in a row, Soto seems like hits one every 2 or 3 games. Like it's a beautiful thing. And it's not easy for these other teams to contend with the middle of this lineup. And the great thing about Soto too, lefty righty, it does not matter. He crushed that home run. That was off of that was still off Pavetta. Never mind. There was a curveball off Pavetta. It's just he's incredibly locked in right now. I think in terms of DraftKings player spotlight for the next series, we're not going to preview that series yet, but let's look ahead. We are facing 2 lefties. I kind of like Pete to get another one. You know, also I might like to hit a home run next series.
Who's that?
Francisco Alvarez.
Would you parlay those together?
I mean, if we want to do a round robin for the Mets lefty mashers of Pete, Alvarez, Starling Marte, if 2 of them hit it, you do a crazy hit like that. That's where I like to live in my DraftKings baseball bets.
See, I'm gonna just be like Soto, Alonso all together. Put them in, pick a game, put those 2 guys on there for a home run parlay. I think you're gonna be looking pretty good there. So remember to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Shall we talk about game 1, James? Is that enough of game 2 talk, or you got anything else you want to say?
I'm happy with one thing I want to call out game 2. Ryan Helsley got through another scoreless inning.
Sure.
I'll leave it at that. He did give up a walk. He also did pick off Fernando Tatis. My king Ryan Stanley did give up a run though, so we pulled back on that one. But we're dying for one righty to walk up and be good. And I think I gave a pretty good scouting report for Nick Pivetta in this game.
Oh, you gave a great scouting report for the whole series again. I mean, you're just gonna have to do it against the Nationals. A lot of weird names that we'll eventually talk about, but when you say it, it seems like the team listens.
Something at least. Again, it was take war hacks against Pivetta. We had 3 solo home runs off him. A lot of hard hit balls. Should have had
non-0% chance that James' scouting report has an impact. Non-zero.
It's permeated the clubhouse in some possible way. But I think game 1 was my proudest scouting report of the season.
Game 1 was awesome.
Game 1, we were there. It was a great time at the ballpark. And the Mets just from the get-go just absolutely decimated Michael King. Hung a 5 spot on him in the first inning, 7 through 2, 8
4
through
straight
4.
singles to start the game.
And it was just nonstop hard hit balls, while waiting back and working that count a little bit.
Shout out me for having the wherewithal to make the easiest bet of all time. Francisco Lindor's wife, Katia, did the national anthem on the violin before the game, and it was awesome, first off.
Sensational. She should do it every game.
What a talented family.
Unbelievably talented family. For everyone to do it, for I didn't even know that Katia had musical talent like that.
I had no clue.
She played a perfect rendition of the national anthem.
Absolutely crushed it. I saw Lindor's face. I looked at you. I said, oh, he's going yard tonight. There's no doubt in my mind. Hit that monster home run the second inning off of Michael King. It was phenomenal to see this team just jump all over him. You said Michael King had nothing. He has been a shell of himself. And the Mets seemed like they noticed that immediately because hit after hit after hit after hit. And the Brett Beatty home run that hit the Shea Bridge, that was the one me and you looked at each other like, oh my God, it's happening.
Up until that point in the first inning, Brett Beatty was the 6th batter the Mets had, the 7th batter of the inning. Including Beatty, only 2 Mets got a first pitch strike. The only other first pitch strike, it wasn't Beatty. There were 2 first pitch strikes, never mind. The one was So though, but he always takes strike one. Everyone knows that.
Although he's been a little more aggressive this series swinging first pitch.
He has. And the other one was Jeff McNeil, who I told you, I was like, this is the biggest at bat of the game right now. Because we had the 1 run home, but there was a bases loaded and 2 out. I was like, if we get any more here, then we could really just knock
right down the line over the base.
Tried to backdoor sweeper him, and he cranked it right there. So it was nice to see that fact that, again, Eric Chavez all over this thing.
Yeah, always trust him. I'm
always
his biggest
trust Chavez. Never doubt Eric Chavez, but
it's Jeremy Barnes' fault.
he might be the one who should get the credit, but we were on it. We were ready from the get-go against Michael King, who again had nothing, and such a beautiful job by Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea. The absolute prophecy being fulfilled that these two guys with some of the most different arm slots in the entire team could piggyback with each other, and the other team had no clue.
It's almost like we saw this before.
It
worked, and it worked beautifully. Maybe it was in a Midwestern city, maybe Kansas City. I know the Mets didn't win that game, but it worked. It worked pretty well on the pitching side. They didn't hit. This is the frustrating. You know how like we always joke about like a little frustrated about McLean not being up as soon, or Tong or Sproat, but we knew that there was change to AAA. This could have happened the day that Sean Manaea came off the IL. This is the one that frustrated me because we saw it the one time we're like, probably should do this the rest of the year. And then it took another month and a half of horrible baseball. Sean Manaea looking terrible.
More. 2 full months.
Well, that was like, 2 full months, I guess.
That was like July 10th.
It was middle of July. Yeah.
This game date was September 16th.
It is September 18th today at recording. I got days of the week don't make any sense to me. But 2 full months of bad baseball, specifically from Sean Manaea. And then they try this, and you're like, oh, my God, we can use 2 pitchers in a game and win easily.
And it was just, I felt it with Manaea especially. Like Clay Holmes did have the classic Clay Holmes game. Like he gave up a long home run to Merrill. He gave up another home run, but there was like some traffic. There was a lot of nonsense.
They both hit. The balls were getting pissed on in this game. It felt like we got juice balls again.
It felt like a juice ball game, but he still did the regular Clay Holmes thing. And we definitely could have, if it was regular Clay Holmes time, let Clay Holmes go 1 more inning. And you probably would have gotten the classic 5 innings, 3 runs. And that still would have been good enough to win. But Manaea, I think, whatever mental hurdle he had to get over might have happened with this, like relishing the opportunity to come out of the bullpen because he was back to just being fastball Sean Manaea. 70% of pitches he threw were fastballs. Almost all of them were in the strike zone. He's like, I just dare you to hit it. Try. And he still had the velocity dip because he still got to 70 pitches. He still threw a couple of them that squeaked below 90, but it seemed like the confidence of it and just the way the offense bludgeoned Michael King and the Padres bullpen, like it didn't really matter anymore. So we were able to cruise to the win.
And what's really cool about using this, especially with the expanded rosters, is that if Clay Holmes has a rough start, right, he can only go 2. You can go to Manaea. Let's say Manaea also is rough. That takes you to 4 or 5 innings. You're in the same spot as if one of them stunk it up and you didn't try to force anything.
And if Clay Holmes goes 2 on Wednesday, he can go 1 on Friday.
Yep. Like you can be so creative. You can start using these guys as weapons rather than bashing our head into the wall and being like, why can't Clay Holmes or Sean Manaea go past 80 pitches? They don't need to. We don't have to do that anymore because this plan works. We've done it twice. Keep doing it. There's going to be at some point where you might have to pull them earlier. But in this game, they didn't, and it was amazing to see them execute like they did.
That was another part that was a teeny tiny bit frustrating about the Peterson Machado at bat on Wednesday because the bullpen was so well rested.
Yes.
Not one guy pitched the day before, so you could literally brought anybody in to face Machado. Again, I don't know who you would have brought in. It would have been Stanek probably, and I don't know how much any of us wanted to see that, but
yeah.
That's where it is. Also, I just misspoke. We didn't do anything against the Padres bullpen that game because we just destroyed Michael King. The Padres just made him wear it. And I do want to say, interestingly enough, the last run of this game, oddly, for us, was scored on a Cedric Mullins solo home run. That was kind of the beginning of this feeling of like, all right, something's happening with Mullins. Funny enough, Mark and I we ran to the bathroom at the same time in between innings before Mullins came up because it was like, Mullins coming up. It's a good time running to the bathroom. And we're in there and we're washing our hands at the same time as this other guy. And I think this was the full embodiment of our classic Joe from Massapequa, like Joe from Tottenville. Like this was the WFAN caller. So we talk about Mullins. I'm watching the screen and listening in the bathroom like, I wish this guy could just be average. And
I go to wash my hands coming from the bathroom. James says that to me as I'm walking up.
Yeah, and the guy is he had like a white goatee, teeny bit of white hair, like cargo shorts. Like this was the guy that we always describe to a T.
Except for the fact about being on suite level, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the one difference. And he was like, Mullins, this guy sucks. He just,
Immediately, bang, home run.
milliseconds later, crack of the bat, see you later. And we all were like, yeah, in the bathroom, like, let's go. It was-
I think he was a little upset that he hit a home run.
oh, definitely a teeny tiny bit. Because that's that same sect of Mets fans that don't really want the team to succeed at the end of the day. Like, they relish in the fact that the Mets suck. And that's like
Yeah.
part of their personality. But nice, again, to see Mullins teeny tiny, like, tick up. And you know what's funny about it? Playing every day
Yeah,
really can help this
crazy.
guy get into a groove. Guy's been an everyday player his entire career. A guy that, whatever you guys want to tell me, plays a fine defensive center field. He's not going to win any more Gold Gloves, but he's out there. It's a good defensive center field. I know
Yes.
the arm is not great. He might not be as good of a center fielder as Tyrone Taylor. Tyrone Taylor's not here anymore. There's no use comparing the two guys, but that is just
He also
it's,
can't hit at all either.
no, it's this team is the best version of itself with Cedric Mullins in center field. I'm happy that he could hopefully get to a spot where he's fine.
He's got a 700 OPS again, I believe. So
He does.
that's
Good enough.
If he just lives there in the 9-hole, holy shit, this team's going to score infinitely more runs.
That'll be a better OPS than most nine-hole hitters in the league.
He basically just can't have a 400 OPS. That's pretty much all we're asking. Don't have a 400 OPS.
Just hit better than Torrance.
Yeah, which I think is
Tyrone Taylor, which
really
was always the plan.
doable. Really, really doable. This game was fun. I wanted to talk real quick too because you mentioned a fun interaction you had or that we had on game 1. Game 3, sitting with my dad at the game, there was a guy behind us who was electric. He was when Brooks Raley was on the mound, he would go Brooks, scream, and then when he got a strike, he go booyah, and then he'd start screaming the name again. He was money. He was the vibes. I felt like we talked about this too during the Ranger series. Now we're starting to get the real fans in the stadium. Summer's
Yes.
over. School's back in session. We're getting the real fans. And I do love seeing that group of fans at Citi Field where it's like they actually do live and die with this team. They care a lot, and they can tell you all about Brooks Raley. They can tell you all about Dom Hamill coming in for his major league debut. Like, he's been called up 3 times. First time he's been here. Shout out Dom Hamill. Never forget.
Shout out Dom Hamill. I hope we get him back. Hope we get back Dom Hamill back. He should. It's a shame to make your major league debut and get immediately DFA. I can't even imagine.
He knew.
I definitely knew, but still, the emotional roller coaster just being like, you gotta be kidding me. But it does feel like we're at that spot. Like, this is also, we're about to have the last homestand of the year. This was the second last homestand. I've probably had my last game in Citi Field this season.
I'll be there Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, which is a shame. Sad about that, but it was a great season. I think I got myself to 40 games.
You got to be close. I think you got to be close to
40. Great season, and we're also like the Mets are basically almost totally out of gimmicks this season. So
Thank God.
we're gonna keep. Oh, but Tuesday night, Hispanic Heritage Night,
Was awesome.
we should do that every single game.
I'm in.
The music was amazing. Everything was great. Like it was a really good environment in the ballpark. And
I prefer hearing like Latino music way more than hearing like the Jonas Brothers
music.
being interpolated with like EDM bad beats, and then like a beat drop is like, yeah, let's get loud, Citi Field. Like I can't do that.
yeah, just as much Bad Bunny as we can get in that stadium as possible. Also, interestingly enough, we heard another song on Tuesday night, which adds fuel to our fire from the Jacob DeGrom conversation last episode. Jose Iglesias got OMG. He got his tribute video at like 6:55,
Which he deserved.
100% served. Nothing bad about Jose Iglesias, but still just no simple man.
No simple man.
That's
Well,
okay.
they did it
Not gonna
after
harp
the
on it.
tribute video, but hey,
Not gonna harp on it.
Not worried about great series win from this team.
And again, a really, really good series by Brett Beatty. Just want to continue to give the guy credit when he does.
Oh,
Big
yeah, I
home run
have.
on Tuesday, a bunch of hits and a bunch of hard hit balls on Wednesday.
874 OPS in his last 30 games.
765 on the season.
He's
He's
awesome.
an outside shot to get to 20 home runs. And he didn't even play the full year. Like what
He's got
we
the same OPS as Brandon Nimmo.
and same with Alvarez, right there with both of them. It's those two guys. Whatever a Mets fan wants to tell you about what they think of those two, I think we can tell internally from this organization that those two have now become.
They're not
I'm
going
not-
anywhere.
They're not cornerstones maybe yet or per se, but those are two guys that you could write them in pen for the foreseeable future.
I'm going to say, of course, I wish they were better. I'll never not wish that a player was better. I wish Brett Beatty had a 1,200 OPS because, of course, if I can make the wish, I'd want the craziest things to happen. But for them, this might be the perfect way for them to start really settling in and realizing that they belong here because you have the big boppers, you have the big names. Brett Beatty and Francisco Alvarez can hit 6th, 7th in the lineup and just
Perfect.
continue to turn that lineup over for the big guys to drive them in.
And they're like best friends, and it's so
They're
cool
awesome.
to watch. It's cool to watch them like be happy for each other. And throw Vientos in that too, because it has been not a great
He's
few
been
weeks
playing
for
better,
Vientos,
though.
but he still is a guy who's going to be here. Like it's cool to see how strong the mental makeup of these guys are. All three of them, I think, because all three of them have crazy ups and downs, trials and tribulations. I think it does say a lot about, while we have chastised in the past, the coaching infrastructure of this Mets team to just keep giving these guys the confidence to succeed, because this team, this roster, this year, next year, after that, it's the best version of itself with those guys being really consistent, steady cogs inside of it.
Mets also win games when Brett Beatty plays.
Yeah. I texted you that. Someone tweeted that the other day, or maybe Gary said it on the broadcast. I'll find the exact numbers because they were in our text. But I think
might be
they're
60 and 41 now. I think they were 58 and 40 when you texted me that, and that was before Tuesday's game.
But then we lost. No, it was after Tuesday's games. Before it was during Wednesday.
So it'll be 59 and 41.
59-41 in games that Brett Beatty's played this season.
Should be playing more.
Definitely should be playing a lot more. But now, as we move forward to this national series, we're facing two lefties.
He's got to play. He has to play. Luis Angel Acuna cannot. He can't start. He can't keep getting away with this.
Do you want to bet if he's going to play against the two lefties?
Yeah, I'll buy you a beer.
All right, we'll do that because I think he'll sit at least against one of the lefties in the series, no doubt.
All right, one's a push. 0 lefties, you get it. 2 lefties starting against 2 lefties, I get it.
Okay, that's fine. Excited to push on this bet. Really good bet, no bet. But Friday night, 7:10, Brandon Sproat against Andrew Alvarez. Saturday, 4:10, Nolan McLean versus Kay Cavalli. This is the Mark and James. This is the Mark and James Bowl and Ace-Off. Sunday matinee, last home game of the year. Likely the Clay Holmes Sean Manaea piggyback against lefty Mitchell Parker.
Kratz, I'm going to steal a line right from the top here about MeUndies. A cut for every butt. I took a line that I feel like you would enjoy, but then you stole my thunder with show and tell. What do you have there?
Besides a huge Baduka dunk, this is my pair of MeUndies that I got. I'm not going to show you the other pair right now because I got them on, but it doesn't even feel like you have them on. Super soft, flexible, and yet holding everything together.
I love the 20 different styles, 100 different colors and prints, and the micro-modal fabric is what you're talking about. Breathable, stretchy, unbelievably cozy. And right now, as a listener of FT, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/foul and enter promo code FOUL. That's MeUndies.com/foul, promo code FOUL for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall.
Every last home game, well, not every last home game, but this one and last year's, they feel a little different.
Feel weird.
Feel a little different.
You don't know.
You don't know. You have no clue what's going to happen or what this team could look like or whatnot. But if you can get out there Sunday, I'd suggest it. I'm not going to say why, but I think you can connect the dots.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. We don't want to think about those things yet. We're going to talk about that a lot in the offseason. It is also very that player to be playing his best when he sees something like this on the horizon.
Of course.
Not going to say the guy's name. You guys know who we're talking about, but it's very him for this hot streak to happen exactly right now.
He's been asked about it publicly, and he's spoken about it publicly recently. So if you ever need any more hints, that's the hint.
Yeah, but getting into the series, talk about these pitchers. Andrew Alvarez, the first one.
I don't know who that is.
He's 26-year-old. He's drafted by the Nationals, doesn't have a ton of major league experience. He only has 3 career starts. He's a weird guy where, again, it's a lefty. He's not all the way 3/4, but he's still a little bit higher, but he's still not fully upright. His fastball moves like a sinker. It's a very strange pitch. It's got like cut drop on it. And then he has a tight gyro slider off that, just moves a little bit straight up and down. And then a curveball that has a little bit of side to side, but a lot of drop. He's out there just hoping to hit a ground ball.
Yeah.
That's it. So you want to, he will walk you. Like I wouldn't be that mad if the Mets exercise some patience against Alvarez, but you're going to just get tons and tons and tons of the fastball, slider, curveball. Based on the spin of those pitches, it will be difficult to differentiate, but I do think that, especially when you start to put him in a box a little bit, and especially for the righties who are going to get, I mean, he does mix them up pretty well, those 3 pitches. So I'm curious how he does this. And then we'll see against the lefties, you're going to get a lot of sinkers because they're mixing the sinkers more, but they'll never let the righties see one sinker. He probably is another one of these guys where wait for the pitch, let him make a mistake. Another guy who you probably should be hunting singles rather than homers. Probably, honestly, a good Starling Marte game.
Great. Give Starling Marte a look.
Definitely. So I'm going to take the 420-foot home run on Wednesday night too. And then Cavalli,
my boy.
One of our favorites. Unbelievable story for this guy over the last 5-6 years. High-end pitcher out of Oklahoma. He's transferring to Oklahoma too, right?
Yes, he was a transfer.
Transfer in, drafted in 2020. Kind of rose to the major leagues quickly. Crazy strikeout stuff, 97, 98, 99 miles an hour with a nasty curveball, which I love. The righties with the fastball curveball. Got injured, came back, got injured much worse. Now he's 27 years old. He's still rookie eligible, and he's been fine, not good. He's got hit around a few times, but he's had some really nice starts in the middle. with Cavalli, you kind of have the mix of like gems and blowups, right?
Mhm.
Like or a classic like 4-inning, 4-run, 4-walk game. He's kind of famous for that. So he's probably the guy you attack. He's probably the guy you want to just hit because he will be around the zone more than most. He is good at avoiding the barrel, but he will give up a bunch of fly balls. So that's someone you want to get that ball in the air
It's
against.
funny because he will give up a bunch of fly balls, but also does get a bunch of ground balls too. 53% ground ball rate on the year. He's got a heavy fastball. That's always why I like
He's
heavy fastball, and he can throw hard,
And again, you can do both of those things. And you have very
Yes.
low strikeout rate.
Correct.
Like he does,
which
I
he
think
does.
he does. And again, I think the ground balls that come this year, he's brought more sinkers into the repertoire he's ever had.
So
coming
Cade
back from injury.
Cavalli was not a transfer.
Oh,
He was not a transfer. He just was a two-way player to start. I believe, I want to say he was like a catcher or an outfielder. He was a two-way player to start, then became a pitcher only. Also, fun thing about Cade Cavalli, not his real name either. What's his real name, James?
I don't know.
Steven
Cade Cavalli.
Steven Cade Cavalli.
Cade is so much cooler than Steven.
Yeah, I mean, Cade Cavalli sounds like a winner.
Yeah, Steven's with a V, I'm assuming.
Yeah, with a V. Nice call.
Yeah, that's rough. It's a bad one. Sorry for all the V Stevens out there. I like PH Stevens a lot more.
I have no preference on
That's
how
our boy.
Steven is spelled. Well, yeah, of course, that's our boy, but I have no preference of how it's spelled.
Yeah, and then Mitchell Parker. All I'm going to say is, statistically speaking, based on the results and the data that we have, he's been one of the worst pitchers in baseball this season.
So just hit him. Just attack.
Just crush him. He has another one, a very up and down repertoire. Because he has the fastball that's just he has good shape on that fastball with a splitter, with a curveball that is a true straight up and down. It's not all the way 12.6 because it doesn't drop that much. It's a little bit tighter, a little bit more of a power curve. It's over 80 miles an hour, which isn't really a power curve. When you start out with 92, that's kind of a power curve, but it's a straight up and down pitch and a slider with just a tiny bit of wiggle for the lefties. But he's proved this season that one, he will be around the strike zone, and two, you should be able to get under those pitches and crush them.
We did just briefly talk about Dalen Lyle on the windup for a video that's going to be coming out this weekend. He's kind of been the hot hitter, I feel like, in this lineup. This is a team that the Mets should sweep. I want sweep. I think anything other than sweep, I feel a little bit disappointed, and especially with how few games are left and how close everything is. Sweep is kind of the option, but you got to take one game at a time. Win Friday, worry about Saturday on Saturday, worry about Sunday on Sunday. Can't look ahead too far. The Nationals team has been pesky to us to end seasons before. We cannot let them do that. You have to take care of business. You have to beat the Nationals.
Yeah, and as of we're recording this right now, just to give you guys a standings update, we're 2 games in the loss column ahead of all of the Diamondbacks, the Reds, and the Giants.
Which is great.
This Reds and the Giants both play later tonight. The Reds at home against the Cubs with Hunter Green on the mound.
Let's go Cubs.
And then the Giants on the road against the Dodgers, Logan Webb versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto in an ace-off. So
let's go Dodgers.
That's where we're at right now. And it was a crazy series if you guys are scoreboard watching this week.
Nuts.
Between the Dodgers and the Giants, because I mean the Diamondbacks and the Giants, those are two teams who are fighting kind of with each other to get as close as possible to us. Nice that the Giants now have the Dodgers. I'll just say that.
Love to hear that.
With the announcement that Clayton Kershaw is going to be making the final start of his career.
One of the all-time greats, that's for sure.
Love Kershaw. But
and Justin Verlander made the announcement. He's pitching again in 2026.
Coming back.
He's chasing 300.
Good for him. Chase 300, dude. He might.
If someone's
going to
pay you, right? If someone's going to pay you might as well keep going.
Turned down $12 million to just etch your name a little bit more into the history books. Why not? And
he's
then
going to be a Hall of Famer.
Otherwise, Hall of Famer. I'm saying get that 300.
That's
huge.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. He probably will be the last guy to ever get 300 wins.
Good chance. This Nationals team too. I'll never say the top of the lineup is bad. I'll always see Josh Bell and respect him because he crushes us. He's guaranteed home run in this series from Josh Bell. And then Within Abrams, up and down young players, but they're still talented. Same with Dylan Cruz. Same with Luis Garcia. Luis Garcia is just a couple months older than CJ Abrams, which is kind of funny to think about.
That's crazy. And they got Brady House. They have young players all over the field.
Yes, but very young. The youngest team in baseball, I think, actually statistically, average age of the 26-man roster.
And you got to jump all over this bullpen.
Jump all over the bullpen, jump all over the starters. The bullpen is what kind of killed us in the last years. They beat us 2-3 in Washington. So it's a situation where you can't really let that happen again. Now you've seen Connor Pilkington. You've seen Clayton Beather. You've seen Jackson Rutledge. You cannot let these guys throw clean frames against you.
You got Frankie Peppers for us here to end the episode?
I do. Frankie Peppers send us out. Frankie was timely with this one. He's been on
Shout
top
out
of
Frankie. I saw a lot of people making bolognese. Shout out Matt Fitz making some bolognese at home. Frankie Peppers gave you the stamp of approval. I showed him.
Yeah?
I showed him, and Frankie said, it's perfectly acceptable. I'll take it.
I just made a sauce, and that's Thursday afternoon sauce. But
Afternoon
here comes
sauce. Nice.
Frankie Peppers.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I forgot what it feels like to win a series. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty good, doesn't it, boys? I got every loud car in the world here trying to interrupt me. I'm sorry, I'm outside work. But it feels nice. Wonderful to see Tong pitch so well. Wonderful to see the piggyback of Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea work out as beautifully as it did. Now, if we can just keep winning every series until the end of the year, I think that puts us in a pretty good position, boys. So, I hope you're well. I will talk to you soon. Let's go, Mets. Take care, boys.
Frankie Peppers is right. We got 9 games left. If we win every series, that's a minimum of 6 wins. That probably punches our ticket to the postseason.
I think almost definitely it does. And 10-5 is still in play for me to have to paint my chest for a playoff game.
Oh man, that's sick. I can't wait. I
Still in play.
Completely forgot. You could have never mentioned it. I'll never forget now.
I'm not a man. I'm not a man that I took crooks on my bets.
And the people would have let you know too on the Mets'd podcast. Anything
100%.
else?
I think that's good. Shout out Frankie. Sound like he did that from a helicopter, but thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, Frankie.
We are going to have Will Salmon on this weekend for you guys, so make sure you keep an eye out for that, an episode with him. Otherwise, that is it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel if you have not yet done so. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James at
James Shiano.
I'm DraftNick Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you all later this weekend with Will Salmon. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Go Mets.